do got to check out my mic very quickly. Make sure see that's no check. Oh, that's the wrong one there. Okay, this one. Okay, there we go. I have the right one. Hey, welcome, Ghana. Excuse me. I did a workout today, and my voice will be a little bit scratchy. I want everyone to know I have not watched What's Doing Willis's video yet. I will be watching that today. Maybe we could watch that together. But I'm going to be reacting to Jeremy Hale's video that he just had put out. I'm sharing this. Hold on. Got the link. I want people to make sure they can find me. Servers. Get some of this stuff out there. Come on. yeah. I've been getting back into working out. I got the all clear from the doc. I've been easing into it because I don't want to, I don't want to hurt myself. So I've been taking good care to not hurt myself. Boom, boom, share. There we go. See, I'm getting good at this. Okay. And I got a Twitter. See, this is the problem. People are always like, "Oh, you should get this social media. You should get this social media." It's too much. It's too much. There we go. So, did you all watch Jeremy Hale's video that he posted tonight? I just got done with it. There are some things in that video. I rock 4 miles every other day. Now I got that all clear. So yeah, I will walk. I don't like hiking. Marine Corps ruined hiking for me. So all these people are like, "You're in Joshua Tree? Oh my God, the hiking must be amazing." I'm not hiking. Nope, not doing it. But I've got a very big concern that I've had. It's a concern that I've had about Otter Creek and Levy County, but what he was showing today, it really makes me very concerned. The one thing I will say that's good is that with the cop who responded, so the whole 911 call and everything was about his neighbor who he's been having issues with, John Lynette. This was a couple weeks, or like 2 weeks ago. What's Doing Willis was at Tubetown. He had people visiting the Grangers, and John Lynette's dogs ran off their property and came to the, came up to them. And oh, okay, hold on here. I'll get it to you. I got people texting me for the link to the video. There you go. So their dogs came off of their property and onto someone else's property. It's a nuisance. You have to control your animals, especially especially dogs. There's so many laws out there about dogs, and yeah, you watch the video. Okay, yeah, it's crazy. So it doesn't appear like the cop interviewed and said, okay, there's nothing here, like there's no violations of the law. So that was good. But the problem is he still should have interviewed and gotten the names of the people on the other side, because while he determined there were no violations, that is a matter of record now, official record. And Lynette is going to try to use that in court and say, well, they were trying to do all these things, even though she just can't control her freaking dogs. That's the problem. Her and John are irresponsible pet owners. They're running a a turtle sanctuary where all I've ever seen is neglect and turtles dying. So they should have the child taken from them. And oh, here's conspiracy kitty. He, he knows I'm going to be talking conspiracy stuff. Now, Jeremy, as he is reading this report, and he's concerned that their audio recorder didn't work, and he asked, "Is that is this a conspiracy? Is this a type of cover up?" And he is well founded to ask these questions. He's not out of line. There's been enough questionable things that have been done in Levy County for him to ask these questions, and it's a legitimate question. Here's my thing. Why would you take a report that only shows one side? Even if you're not doing anything with it, you should at least have, I maintain contact with the other side. Here's what they stated. You should always, when you're doing an investigation, you should, even if you can't determine that a law has been broken, you should always still contact the other side, because again, you're only getting one side of the story. As an investigator, you have to talk to both sides. In the military, I did several investigations. I mean, that's when you're a second lieutenant, they're like, here's an investigation. When you get done with that one, here's another investigation. Oh, okay, the Jeremy Hills video. That's, sorry, man. I see what you're saying now. So yeah, like that's the first thing you should absolutely do is contact the other people involved and just get their statement, even if you determine it's nothing, because if you don't, it looks very one-sided. Oh, you got it just as I was clicking send. Sorry about that, man. But yeah, like, you don't want to show favoritism. You want to show that you've looked at all sides. And here's the other thing, like, when it comes to dogs, there's plenty of dog attacks. If you follow me, people, I am not a fan of irresponsible dog owners, especially when they have breeds that are known to rip out the throats of people and children. I'm not a fan of that. It's the official breed of every dog shelter out there. So I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm very vocal about irresponsible pet owners. I have pets. I would never want my pets to be put in any type of dangerous situation. You've all seen me getting attacked on this channel, physically attacked. I had glory there. I did not fight back during that attack until they threatened glory. And that's when I was ready to finally defend myself. And it really I wasn't ready to defend myself. I was ready to defend my dog. So I get very frustrated at bad pet owners. And these two are not just bad pet owners, they're bad animal owners, because they run this turtle sanctuary. But my whole crux of what the whole thing with the sheriff is, we need to start demanding that the FBI do an investigation on Levy County Sheriff. It's gotten, this stuff has been allowed to escalate. They've ignored things. They have been, hey, welcome to the stream, Eric. We're talking about Jeremy's video tonight. They've been willfully neglect, and I've said it before, and I'm saying it again. They are violating Jeremy's 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. Jeremy is they are required to investigate whenever he calls. This is exactly the problem that I've been experiencing with the base. I make IG complaints, they're not investigated because they want to protect people. Levy County, Jeremy makes complaints, nothing is done on them, or they drag their feet until it's way too late for them to really do anything effectual. So Yeah, everyone, there's a link to Eric Miller's his channel. Definitely follow him. He's been following this what the hell saga. We've talked about it before as well. Um, but yeah, the FBI needs to come in and start doing an investigation, because when you look at things like Amanda Martin and her son attacking Jeremy, when you look at things like this, when you look at, it takes them over an hour to determine to read a CPO and say, okay, well, they're allowed here, you're not, you have to leave. That, like, it's beyond willful ignorance at this point. It's beyond that. We're now into uh, purposefully negligent, in my opinion. Uh, who is? I'm going to look this up. Um, who is the sheriff of Levy County? Because are they up for election? I'm trying to type, but Conspiracy Kitty is in my way. Okay, so the sheriff, got his picture here. Bobby McCallum is the sheriff. So is Bobby McCallum up for re-election? Was watching it when you went live. Yeah, go ahead and finish. That's why I tagged Jeremy and George in this. I want everyone to watch their video. Kahanu's got it linked already. Definitely watch their videos. This saga that they've been going through is just crazy. But Sheriff Bobby McCallum, is he up for re-election? That's going to be the real question, because I mean, you want a sheriff that's going to do something. Yeah, you want a sheriff that's going to be in a hurry, even if they're stopping for a Diablo sandwich. Sheriff McCallum, Levy County election. Reports for local candidates. Let's see if this will say it. Sheriff. So, okay, so it looks like he does have someone running against him, Britton Drew. So, hopefully, because okay, this is this is the general election committee. Is this? So it looks like he's up for re-election, and we need to start questioning if he should even be the sheriff. Now everything to do with Lynette and John Crook has been transferred to Marion County. Very true, but Levy County will still respond, and they're still taking reports. And as you're seeing from this, they're not willing to listen to both sides. You have to do that. You have to do that. Even if it's a nothing report, it's, hey, we're not going to do anything, just what did you observe type of thing. Yeah, is that your Discord server, Eric, you're promoting there? Eric has an active Discord server, so make sure everyone join that. If you don't have a Discord account, I think Discord is actually a really good tool. I've used it myself. I just refuse to run my own server. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing now, is putting pressure on Sheriff McCallum. I would love to. I would love to see if I can get his opponent on the show, interview him. But the other thing is, I think that the FBI needs to do an investigation on discrimination, because the one thing that we should always expect from our law enforcement is that they will always take things seriously. And like, I've been very consistent on this, and I'll give you an example. Justin Schatz, he's on YouTube, 68 Shots. He's running for office for Michigan State Legislature, but well over a year ago, I highlighted one of his videos where he had a civil protection order. The neighbor was violating it. He called the cops, and the sergeant showed up wearing a Batman mask. This is the problem. We cannot stand for any law enforcement to be doing anything unprofessionally. And you know what? I'll try to see if I can get that video, and if we can put that in the chat, that would be great. Because yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, people just want to be able to call their local law enforcement when there's an issue. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, yep, there we go. There's that one. You can see the cop right there in the Batman mask. So let me send this, and we'll put this in the chat. There we go. But yeah, this is a problem. And Kahano, he's in here. He's been dealing with VA police. You know, they were harassing him, and you can watch that video on his channel. Like, our law enforcement should be, you know, above the fold. They should be professional. They should do their job without question. They should be objective. And that's not what I'm saying. Like, this report, you know, even though he said no violations occurred, this report is, you know, it's derogatory towards Jeremy, and that's not fair. That is not fair. You know, one side should not be on the record and the other side just ignored. That's BS. They should have made contact with him and said, "Hey, just so you know, here's what happened. What's your statement?" The problem is, even in law enforcement, we still have corruption. Oh, absolutely we do. Absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, there's the Batman mask video. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate you putting that in there. Sociopath cop. Yep. Like, what the hell is going on in America? I've never, you know, I've got family members who were police and fire. I've never been back the blue, because there are bad people out there, and that's not even them I have. There are bad law enforcement officers. The problem I really have is with the good ones who don't speak up. That's why I'm very vocal about, you know, body cameras. My sheriff here does not have body cameras, and I'm trying to get people to get this going to where I have talked to my local county supervisor, Dawn Rowe, who is amazing. Anyone watching here in San Bernardino County, I fully support her. She is like the one elected official out here who has just bent over backwards. Like, every time I've been nearby, I'd like to think not all cops are bad and still try to avoid them. Yeah, well, yeah, because, you know, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Thank you, Corey. My old neighbor, Corey West. But yeah, like, I don't back the blue, because there's the what do they call it, the cone of silence. You know, there's too many good ones not speaking up when the bad ones say something. And Lackluster yesterday actually had two cops from my hometown of Toledo. They pulled over a guy because they thought he honked at them. They'd actually cut him off on Heather Downs Boulevard, right in front of the restaurant I used to work at. And then, you know, he drove for a while, and they were sitting at a green light and waiting, and someone gave him a beep, and they turn onto Burn Road, and then they pull this guy over, retaliatory. And I know they were like, "Oh, well, these are good cops." No, anything like that, it puts all of the department in jeopardy. Is Florida even in America? Seems like it's another country, considering American laws don't exist. Florida, here's one thing I love about Florida. We hear about all the crazy stuff of Florida, but that's because Florida has very open records laws. Like, it is probably one of the most open states. It is hard for them to hide things in Florida. I wish more states had Florida's open records laws and open public meetings acts. California here, we are close, but they allow things. They allow a lot of things to be hidden. For example, when I was attacked, I tried to get the 911 call from the sheriff here because I would like to show that to you all, to show what they were saying about me and what I was saying about them, because they were saying I was doing all this crazy stuff, which wasn't true. I've got a live stream. I was live on camera. The Sunshine Act is a joke. Well, here in California, it is. In Florida, not so much. But they denied me the 911 call because they said those were investigatory records. I'm, you know, I, okay, but the investigation's done. You didn't do anything, but they'll still deny me because no, we don't give up investigatory records. That's ridiculous. It's a 911 freaking call. Give it up. So, you know, uh, remember, Jeremy has been dealing with this for a short time, but not for a short time, but for years. For that alone, he should have his case out there ASAP. This is insane. Thank you, a Veteran Affairs Media. I'm going to be streaming on my experiences of van life on the road. Should be interesting. If you want me to promote any of your videos for that, you're a veteran. Would love to promote you. Everyone loves RVing van life videos. I'm subbed. What time? uh, I love when people in the chat start connecting, networking. That's just a great thing about this show.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
It does. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to start pressuring now is I'm going to make a complaint to the FBI and tell them they really need to take a look into Levy County Sheriff Department, that it really appears that they're willing to violate people's 14th Amendment rights. I'm a Canadian looking from 1,000 miles away, and this makes me not want to visit Florida, and I used to love going there. It's not every part of Florida. That's what's sad. As I was talking to some people, in small towns, corruption is easy to happen, but it's also easy to correct. Here in California, we have some major systemic corruption. I don't know what that dog thinks she heard. Hey. Oh, UPS man. My dog hates delivery people. Hates them. She's freaking out because the UPS man was here. What about the state AG? State AGs, some will do stuff, some won't. I'll tell you this: if the FBI is looking to come in, the state AG will absolutely do something. Body cam should be on while the police officer is on duty. No way to shut off. Absolutely. And if they do shut them off, that should be considered tampering with evidence, in my opinion. Absolutely should. There's no reason, if they should have a dash cam, they should have a body cam. I've got dash cams. I don't have a body cam, but I'll tell you what I do have. I've got some glasses that have a little camera in the middle. And there are times where I know I'm at risk of someone saying something to me, so that's when I wear those sunglasses. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to mute them. You just redact the video later. Many of the COVID cops versus preachers videos from Canada don't exactly help Canada's image either. Yeah, government actors. Well, Canada's taken away people's they don't have First Amendment right, but they've taken away their free speech. That's absolutely true. They shouldn't be able to mute them. My pup is reacting to your pup. Sorry. So, there's a lot of good old boy politics in these small towns along the 19 corridor. Honestly, there's a lot of that in any small town. I live in a small town. There is some of that here. It's really funny because there are some people here who are elected officials that absolutely love me. Like they're like, hey, Mike, you doing a story about this? And I'll talk with them and say, give my take on it. And then there's some who absolutely hate me. And you know who hates me out here? We don't have a lot of media out here. We've got a newspaper, and we also have a radio station. The guy that owns the radio station, for some reason, hates me. Don't know. Can't figure it out. I have a cheap little body cam and try to run dash cams. Yep. I better not talk about Canadian politics. Could be banned. Uh, don't get yourself banned. We don't want, yeah, we don't want to face the wrath of Trudeau. I don't want to see your bank account taken away. How crazy was that? Oh, okay, we got 68 shots in here. So we linked to the video of the cop dressed as Batman. So that's Justin Schatz there. He's running for office in Michigan. If you're so inclined to support him, please do. But definitely check out his videos. He's been dealing with just as much craziness as what Jeremy Hale's. His has actually been going on longer. I will say that. So yeah, we check out his channel. In one day, he was assaulted twice, and you were arrested 3 times or twice that day, and it was all BS. One was his neighbor attacking him, and he's got video of that attack, and the other one was he was walking into his town hall meeting, and he was open carrying, which is perfectly legal in Michigan, and a sheriff's deputy. He wasn't really a sheriff's deputy. He was a guy who worked for CPS. He just was deputized. He felt the need to go hands-on to try to disarm Justin Schatz. And so Justin was, you know, he talks all about it on his channel. Go check out his lives and stuff. It's ridiculous what's been going on in his case. But I will say this, because of his videos, the Battle Creek police chief has already stepped down. In that case, I believe there was FBI investigation, or the FBI was looking to come in. So that all of a sudden the police chief was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to retire," and that's what we need to do in Otter Creek, Florida. We need to start making the FBI aware. We're now past like any point of mistake, you know, here or there. We're beyond that point. It's way past that. Now it's okay. Yeah, no. The FBI needs to come in. There's too much shady business. There's too many coincidences. You know, I've asked that of people is at what point does it stop being a coincidence? Does it become a pattern? I've asked that in my case, you know, of the harassment I've done. It's the same people every time. It's like, when is this no longer a coincidence? You know, when is it a pattern? And you know, that's what you're seeing too many times. County in Michigan, it's the one that Battle Creek is in. I do know that. Um, hold on here. I'm going to try to look it up. Unless if Justin, you're not allowed to have First Amendment and Second Amendment and exercise both. Oh, absolutely. You see that with, look at the armed fisherman. Everyone go check out his channel. It's amazing how many times that guy's been harassed because the cops in Florida, like there are limitations on the Second Amendment in Florida, which I don't quite understand. But you know, I'm Calhoun County. Thank you. But you know, it just because you have laws doesn't give you carte blanche to harass people. And the armed fisherman, he's been on top of that. In fact, he's got some great videos where he deposes one of the cops who was harassing him. And it's funny because the cop just has absolute disdain for him. And it's like, you harassed a guy who was operating within the law, 100% within the law, knew the laws and everything. But see, they don't want you to know the laws. They don't want you to know what your rights are, because then that gives them the ability to violate them. You know, I was just talking with a very young person here in my county, and she was telling me about how she, because of her job, she's traveling normally at like 4 in the morning and gets pulled over routinely. And I said, you know, when you get pulled over, you should say, "Officer, I would love to answer your questions, but my attorney has advised me not to answer any questions outside of his presence. If you'd like to arrange that, we can. But until then, I will be invoking my 4th, 5th, 6th Amendment rights. Thank you." And that's you should be polite and just say it very plainly like that. But see, once you start saying that, they know that you have some understanding of what your rights are. And with so many of these auditors out there, and with so many of these cop videos, when there are cops doing wrong, shut up. Just shut up. There's a reason why every attorney out there tells you just to shut your mouth, because don't let them criminalize themselves. Justin, I know he's appealing all of his stuff. Oh, that was the other thing. He had gone into he had a court hearing, and when he was walking out, he started doing a live, and the sheriffs at the courthouse arrested him. He wasn't in the courtroom. He was out talking to his fans and arrested him. That was the other thing that Justin Schatz has been through. As for your opinion, I respect you for it. I have sided on the side of what the Hales, and I have followed them for years, and how I see this and put myself in his shoes. Yeah, it's really tough, because when you're trying to stay within the confines of the law, it becomes very frustrating, and our judicial system moves incredibly slow. I've been on, like I've talked on here, I've had a TRO against me since the end of September. Now, May 30th is when it's going to be adjudicated, but it sucked having that TRO. But I'm working from home this week because I have a legitimate fear of being attacked. Why? And I told you guys, because when there's a TRO placed, it is for both parties' safety. For my safety, even though it's against me. No one has been able to say that I've done anything to violate that TRO. I've been well within it. But the party that put it on me, guess what? 17 counts of contempt of court. 17 counts, because there are restrictions on them, and they have not fulfilled those restrictions as per the TRO. So, for a law-abiding person, you want to sit back and say, okay, this sucks. This really sucks. I want to do something about it, but you gotta wait for the legal system. That's what I'm doing. And sadly, that's what's been happening with Jeremy. And we've got these sheriffs who don't want to get both sides of the story and then put it all into a report. I don't care that you determine that there was no violation. You still talk to both parties, because that report now is forever. And he potentially could go into court and they say, well, it says you this, and this. Even though there's no violations, he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't even there. That was just some crazy woman who can't keep her goddamn dogs under control. All good. We'll be here when you do. I still follow. He's absolutely being attacked by the legal system, and I still stand against that. I wish he could keep his attitude with George in check, though. It's very emotional for both of them. I can see it in both their eyes. I've told, I've seen it, in his voice. I've heard it in his voice. I've seen it in his eyes, where that stress gets to you. And, I'm a veteran with PTSD. I help other veterans. I've told them all, and I hope they all are talking to a therapist and listening and doing what the therapist is asking them to. And if they have a problem with their therapist, just go get another one. Trust me, you gotta go through these therapists. I've been through, I want to say 5 or 6, and the one that I've got now, I've had for almost 2 years, and she is, I love her, but it's, hey, what's up, and I don't have to relive the trauma. I'm like, hey, this has been a good week. Here's what's going on. I spend, believe it or not, I spend most of my time in therapy talking about being a dad. I love being a dad. I want to be the best dad that I, possibly can. So I talk through, I'm a talker. I like to talk through it and say, here's what I'm thinking about these things. Where am I right? Where am I wrong? And like most times she's like, the fact that you're conscious about these things and that you think about it, she goes, that makes you a great dad right there. Because there are people who just kind of go through life not even thinking about how things affect their kids. I really do think about that. And that's where I just like, what is the best thing for me to do? And it's, every bit of advice she's ever given me has been amazing. But it took me a while to find that therapist. And, of all my stuff, that's my goal. That's my motivation, to be the best dad possible. So, doing this show has been a big part of that. Showing, and I've talked to my kid and said, don't ever stand for corruption. Don't let people do anything bad to you. And trust me, I've questioned him. He knows, if the cops ever come to your school and they want to talk to you, all you have to say is, I would love to talk to you, officer. I just need my mom or my dad present. And I told them, don't answer any more questions and just say, whenever they ask you another question, I would love to talk to you, officer. I just need my mom or my dad present because they're not allowed, and he knows they're not allowed to question you when you're under 18, not allowed to question you outside of a parent. You're right, Germany's neighbors need to get arrested. Yeah, I am shocked that the deputy acted the way he did with this report because at this point it's pretty clear who the problem is. Here lately, you can definitely see that Jeremy is struggling. No court is going to be able to put his life back to pre-predator Lynette. I just hope his and George's relationship makes it. Here's the thing. Jeremy and George are both principled people. This is very stressful. The stuff I've gone through is very stressful. They will make it out okay. They will, because they're principled people. You notice they're doing things the right way. They're not losing control of themselves or their emotions. FYI, current tribunal started in December 2021 to do far nothing has been done. Talk about frustrating for us all. Oh yeah, yeah. You up in Canada, I definitely feel for you. If you decide you want to come down here, let me know. I'll get you a recommendation letter or something for customs and be like, yeah, come on down. When you're so stressed that you tend to belittle or disrespect people, maybe you should stay out of the public eye until you get some control. Just my opinion, though. Maybe I have a bit of PTSD from my past. Here's the thing: people are going to react the way they're going to react. And there are times where I don't know how I'm going to react to things until I'm in it. I had when I was attacked, and you can see that video in my service dog harassment playlist. When I was physically attacked over my dog, the first thing people reached out to, if people I hadn't talked to for years, they were like, you remained amazingly calm while you had two people who were physically hostile to you. And, again, I go back to I'm a principled person. I believe in right and wrong. And in my head, I had prepared myself. When I pulled out my phone to do a Facebook Live, I knew one thing. I wasn't going to point it at them. I was going to point it at me. Because when you start pointing your cameras at people, the first thing they're going to be like is, you can't do that. And then they're going to get in your face. So I was pointing at me. One, because I'm still documenting everything. But by it being pointed at me, they can't say, well, he was recording me. Now, if they come in the background in the shot, that's all on them. That's not on me. That's on them. People remember to smash that like button. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, definitely. We got 46 people here. Where are they all at? Real quick. 17 on Twitter, well, X, and 29 here on YouTube. Thank you all for being here. You would expect your wife, loved one on a live stream with 20,000 viewers watching. I don't know how I would react until I'm in that situation. When you're with family and loved ones, and I am guilty of this, you're very familiar with them, and no one knows how you react with them. I'll tell you, I've said things to my brothers and to my mom that I absolutely regret. But I say those things because we have a familiarity. We have a way of communicating. I'm not saying it's right; it's absolutely wrong. But that's why I tell people go to therapy. You get control your emotions. Now, I did have a very pointed conversation today with my mom, and I said, "Hey, I've got a bone to pick with you," and I just calmly stated, "Here's what you told me." And she kind of laughed, and but again, she knew I was coming at her a certain way, and she said, "No, I only said these things for this, or I set this scenario up this way." And I said, "Okay, that's fair. That's fair." Too many times, and I'm a very active, aggressive person, meaning I'm going to confront people. Hal Sellers is a beach. Yeah, that's the guy who attacked me. He's the assistant chief of staff, works for General Savage at McCagsey 29 Palms. So give them a call and let them know that they have a violent individual who's their assistant chief of staff. He's in charge of the MPs. Thank you for that. But when you're in emotion, you will say things. You'll do and say things. I would hope, I think they're both in therapy. I would hope that they continue in therapy. It does get better. what I have seen the things that people are talking about when it comes to Jeremy and George. I don't know how they communicate off camera, so that might be their normal. You know, she might say the same type of things back to him, so it might not be as contentious as what everyone thinks it is. I don't like it. That's okay. Um, Rather than belittle either of them, I would just say I hope that they're talking to therapists and doing what their therapist recommends. That's what I'll say. Because I don't know the background. We see their lives, but we get a snippet. Same thing with Justin being here. You know, I've watched Justin's videos. I can see that he is stressed. In fact, I've seen that same look that I've seen from him in PTSD people. I'm not saying he's got PTSD. I'm not trying to give that, but I have told him, hey, if I were you, I would talk to somebody. Um, Only because it's just going to make it better for you. Talking to someone is not wrong. It's always right. You're right. I haven't been there. I just hurt for George. I guess still watch and support them. Yeah, and she may be hurt. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that situation. Um, but again, that might be the way they communicate. They might. I I had a roommate. He was the biggest a-hole, but I loved him to death. And he went to a therapist with his mom, and they just were like at each other's throat, like just screaming at each other. And it was funny because I was talking, I was like, well, what did the therapist do? And he's like, well, at the end of it, she was like, well, this is how you two communicate. And he's like, my mom was so pissed, and all she did was go off on the therapist. And I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, I just laughed hysterically. And knowing him, I know that's true. But yeah, sometimes it is how people communicate. Some people have some really, really toxic relationships, um, and some people, just talk to each other, communicate in horrible ways, even though they have a very loving relationship. So, what God has put together, let no man or Lynette put asunder. Yep, Eric is a minister, so I would expect him to bring the scripture. Um, but with that, I do pray for Jeremy and George. They are inherently good people, and what's happening with them is not right. It is not right. So hopefully the FBI comes and investigates Levy. Sheriff, that's what I will be asking and hoping for. You know, you know, I'm glad that we're all coming together. That we have people, the people that are in the chat today. I've helped some of you. Some of you have helped me, and I'm glad that we've been able to build this circle. Hashtag support squad. You guys are great, being fans of the show, and you know I hope that we just keep building on this, that we keep identifying people out there who are in need of our help and where we can offer them personal support. Because when you go through this, Kanu, Justin, you guys tell me, the hardest part is the feeling of loneliness. At least for me, is it for you? Um, when you go through this stuff, but then when you have someone there who is, like, hey, I'm here with you. I'm gonna fight this battle. But with that, when someone offers their help, they can only help in the ways that they feel that they can help. Don't expect someone to totally grab the ball and run with it. They're just a blocker. They will help in the ways that they can, and always be mindful of that. Because for the angry vet, he had a guy on his show, and they were just start going at each other, and it was all because angry vet agreed to support the guy, but the guy was mad that he wasn't supporting in the right way. So people have to support in what way they're comfortable. Yeah, feeling lost because no one understands. Oh, absolutely. But once you have people around you saying, "Hey, I'm with you. What's happening is not right," then you get it's this huge change. Then you realize, oh, I'm not just fighting for me. I'm not fighting this battle for me. I'm fighting this battle for the next guy and everyone else who's going to deal with this problem. and it becomes very easy then to fight back. The stories my dad told me can make a book. My mother was only a young teen. They were on Hitler's list to be unalive, so they escaped under blackout conditions. That's a that's an interesting story. If you'd ever like to talk about that, I'd love to have you on. Um, yeah, you know, when we all organize and come together, we become a force. We really do. With all the receipts and the lies both Preston and Cook have been caught in, I can't fathom how they still get away with calling the cops on their dogs not being maintained. It's the Twilight Zone. Yeah. It's crazy. It is freaking crazy. My mom was the best thing for my dad. He made him better. It was a tough European dad too. Yeah, you see that a lot too. Um, that's why I don't want to criticize either Jeremy or George too much because yeah, they might have that dynamic. I would talk for hours about my dad. Can't imagine. I would love to hear your parents' story too. You should go on with Mike. Yeah, or any tell the stories. That's the thing. These younger generations, they don't know what's happening. They don't understand their history. That's one thing I hit up so much with my son is we talk so much about history. In fact, we play. We've got a History Channel game. Yeah, here. Um, and I mean, it's fun to play. Yeah, so that's the game that we play. And my family loves playing board games. I normally hate it because they all end up fighting at the end of it. In the words of Caesar the Mighty, ape stronger together. Absolutely. Uh, but yeah, we are stronger together. And the more organized we are, the more things we do together and support each other. In fact, in, in fact, so I'm gonna probably do something. I'm gonna. Well, I can almost guarantee you tomorrow I'm gonna call the FBI. I'm gonna call the FBI and tell them that I think the Levy County Sheriff, Florida, needs to be investigated for discrimination. I actually did call the FBI about Justin Schatz, about Battle Creek PD, but I know other people have already called. I was a little bit late to the show with that one, but it doesn't matter if someone already called. When you start flooding them with calls, they're more likely to do stuff. So that's why, like those of you who've helped me with my whole fight with the Marine Corps of being attacked, those of you that have called, I cannot thank you. You're doing so much for me and my family. I can't even fathom. My mom was amazed. She was like, "People are calling." I'm like, "Yeah, people are calling. They tell me they want to call." Love talking history with daughter, but be careful with some of the inaccurate details History Channel has promulgated that are anti-biblical. Well, there's not many biblical things in this. There are inaccuracies. I will say that. My son is like, we've read some things and he's like, "Oh wait, no, no, this is a little bit different." One day I would need to do a list of notes with all the stories. Two members were in camps too. Wow, that was a scary time in history. And you're seeing a lot of the things repeat today on these college campuses. I have reached out to Jewish friends who live near some of these campuses, and I was like, "Look, things start getting bad. You need somewhere to stay. You can come on here. I've got room and an open door." So yeah, it's very scary, and that was the thing about the pandemic. We got to see who who would be the people that would turn in their neighbors. We really got to experience that on a very low level. Trivia says General Mattis isn't a god; it's definitely an actor. Uh, I got to meet General Mattis once when I was just a lowly lance corporal. I was at Quantico. He was the CG of McCitic, and the hurricane had hit Virginia, and they pulled us all out of the barracks the next day, and we had to uh, go up into officer housing and grab all the downed trees and pull them off to the road so that as the road crew came in, they was chopping them up, throwing them all on the wood chipper. But we were cleaning up the general's property first, and he came out and you know uh, walked around talking to us and shaking our hands and thanking us. So yeah, got to meet General Mattis. I didn't realize I'd never heard him talk before then, so I didn't realize he had a lisp. So I was like, in my head, I'm trying to listen to him. I'm like, don't laugh because of the list. My Mima shared her history a little bit growing up in Bremerhaven, Germany during World War II. Wonder where Bremerhaven is. You know what? Now that we got Justin here, hold on. Where is, oh, my map. Here we go. All the viewers. Justin, we got to put you on. You got to go on the board. So let's see. He's right outside of Battle Creek, Michigan. Is it here? Yes, it is. It's on there. So we'll go ahead and add you to the board. And thank you for being a viewer. So now you're on the American viewer board. I still need to get, I have to fully attach the international one. Basically, to me, if we cut ourselves, we all bleed red. Yep. I lived early 60s in Roanoke. Talk about confusing a child with the black and white issues. Yeah, that's, I grew up Gen Xer. I was born in the disco era. So while there were always racial issues, it was not as bad as what it was in the 60s and 70s. I did enjoy like being able to ask my grandfather, who was a cop, questions about what it was like growing up in Toledo. Like Toledo's kind of like a suburb of Detroit almost. It's like an hour away, and talking about the riots up there and how they spilled over and stuff like that. Enjoying your channel from Ellensburg, Washington. Okay, let's see. Can I find Ellensburg? Let's see. Spokane. I don't see it. I do see Bellingham, which I've been to before. So now I've got to look up where you're at so I can put you on here. So Ellensburg, poke holes through that board and backlight with LED strip will cause the dots to shine. You think I'm smart enough to do all that? You give me way too much credit. Ellensburg, Washington. Okay, I got you on the map. Where are you at here? Okay. You're north of Yakima. I believe I did say Yakima on there. Oh, no, Ellensburg. I found it. I found it. You're on here. All right. Let me get this. Boom. So there you go. You're there. We got you on. Add your list a tiny town called Cookstown, Ontario, Canada. I do have Toronto marked. So I'm looking around Ottawa, or Ontario, sorry. I looked at Ottawa, and that's why it made me say Ottawa. Cookstown, Innisfil, Ontario. Okay. Oh, okay. I see where you're at. Okay. Let me get you on here. You're just south of Barrie. So let me get that. Got you on there. And then let's see. We got Zephyr Hills. Zephyr Hills, Florida. Okay, you're right outside of Tampa. Let me get you on there. What part of Pennsylvania do you want to say? Okay. So Zephyr Hills, got you. Okay, so let's see. We got right there, and right there, and right there. So there you go. I'm much more conscious of the colors now because I put a blue on a blue yesterday. South of Barrie, which is close to Baseboard. York, if you go to the north of Baltimore, you will find it. Okay. Let's see. I see Beemore. And we've got, I've got Chris Stockton, who he's from Shelensburg, I think it is. Oh, I see York. So you two aren't too far away from each other. We got a bunch of you guys. Oh, that one fell out. We'll get it back in. Okay. So there we go. I got a nice little Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington fan club going there. Great channel watching from Glendale Heights, Illinois, 30 minutes outside of Chicago. Let's see, is it on the map? Let's see, I see Elgin, I see Waukegan, I'm Joliet, Aurora. So now I got to look up Glendale Heights. I have taken the South Shore line there outside of Chicago. Glendale Heights, Illinois. Boom. They're trying to give me a. Oh, okay. So you're on the east or west side of Chicago. Okay. The blue pin. All right. Oh, so there you are, right there. Weiser or Ellensburg is not part of the Tri-Cities. Okay, we had one more that I missed. Hold on, let me. Weiser, Idaho. Find that one. Idaho's so darn big, but all this, they make them all so small because they're all these small towns. I found Weiser. You are on the very west border with Oregon, or as they say, Oregon. Oh, so I got you right there. Found you. You can build a Google Earth map with pins. Yeah, I know. I like having the physical one here. Schoenberg is a 15-minute drive for me. Watching from Tissawa, Illinois. Let's see if I can find Tissawa. So it's an Indian name, so I would say it's probably more west. I'm just guessing here. These are educated, retarded guesses. I am not seeing it, so let me look it up. So let's see. Tiscawa. Sorry. Tisco. There it is. Okay, you're not too far from. Man, I got some people watching from the Chicago area. You're not too far outside of Chicago. Okay, I can use another blue one. All right. Oh, are you okay? You're north of Peoria. Wow, they don't have Peoria on here. Oh wait, yeah, they do. Okay. So you're going to be in the eye of Illinois. So right there, you're the blue one. Skipper likes it retro. Yeah, there's something about having that physical thing. It's like people who like they have to have that physical book. I don't like I like Kindle only because I've got enough clutter. I don't need a bunch of books. So when I read a book, I do try to get the yes, I am. I do try to get the Kindle version so that it doesn't clutter up my house because I just cleared it off my desk and it's still not perfect. But I'm glad that we're all here because the thing is, as we build this map, you guys hashtag support squad. You're the support squad. So I am a visual person. As we build this out and we start networking and we find more of these cases all around the U.S. where people are dealing with corruption, harassment by their local officials, it makes it easier for us to fight those because like I was talking to someone the other day about an issue that they're not ready to go public with. I said, you do need to find a couple people locally, but then I said, you also want some of us nationally because when you're fighting these things locally, they can harass all the local people. But when you can tell a national person, hey, put this out because they can't get at you. They can't show up on your door and harass you. That becomes a little bit more powerful. Like in this case that I'm discussing, it's in a town of about 400 at most. So I'm like, oh, trust me, when we start getting, thousands of people signing petitions from all over, I go, that's when your local people will start standing up and be like, hey, yeah, there's all these people looking from the outside looking in saying, what the hell? And you know what? I'm going to now locally say, what the hell? And that's what we all have to do. We all have to support each other as best as we can.
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
Yes, but if you want in the super secret support squad group, you will have to deal with the hazing, and that gets a little bit not homophobic, but a little bit of homophilia. It's all jokes, people. The jokes don't get good here.
Okay, Nugget, what's next?
As you can tell, I was able to fix my Stream Deck board, so now I have the soundboard up and running again. anything to bring a little bit more to the show. So Tubetown is coming, and hopefully people keep their dogs out of keep your dogs out of Tubetown. Tubetown is not a place for dogs, but Tubetown, baby. It was funny. He was live streaming today, and I did I put hashtag Tubetown, baby, and Willis gave me a like. So I really enjoy Willis. I love his channel. I love his videos. I rarely ever get a chance to watch him as they're going, primarily because he East Coast, West Coast type of thing. But I do catch him at night. And yeah, I find him very enjoyable. Tubetown is here. I really want. I didn't want to go to Otter Creek when all the drama was going. No intention at all. Now that Tubetown is there, and like he had the one woman on the video from yesterday where she came and was able to throw the ring toss. I now want to go to Tubetown. Now I do. On the baseball team. Do we have a Tubetown baseball team? Willis is high energy. I wish I had 1/10 of his. Yeah, some people are just like that. They can go and go and go. I can go, and like the mornings are my most effective, and then it's like, okay, I'm gotta take a step back. But I also know where my strengths and weaknesses are. What was it from The Matrix? Know thyself. It was in Latin. I don't remember what it said, what the Latin words were. You'd think after all the years of being in Catholic school and around the Catholic Church, I would know way more Latin than what I know, but none of that stuff took. Given time, you'll have a team. Yeah, well, okay. And they don't they still have the baseball diamond over on the schoolhouse grounds? Hopefully, there we go. Tubetown Field. There we go. Your caffeine-addled self in the mornings with coffee. Yeah, well, I'm always sharper in the morning. I get my best ideas in the morning. That's when I work the most effectively. I used to hate it in the Marine Corps, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, we got a meeting that we're going to do on this. Let's do it in the afternoon." And I'd be like, "Oh my god," because end of the day is where I'm like, okay, I'm just zoning out and just I'm a zombie. But I do like projects. Those get me excited. Yeah, with Veteran Nation Foundation, which go buy. I don't have one of the T-shirts on. Go buy one of our T-shirts at Veteran Nation Foundation. Here, I'll show you the T-shirts on there. With those, I am trying to do more things, but my limitation is I don't have a lot of volunteers out here. I would like to do more, but we did, in the link in the description of this, we are doing a comedy show in Los Angeles. It's going to be on the deck of the USS Iowa. We do have discounts for veterans, military, and first responders. So if you know of anyone in the Los Angeles area or in Southern California, that'll be a cool thing to be on the battleship watching a comedy show. So definitely support us with that. Buy a veteran a ticket. If you can't come, buy a ticket and say, just let me know. Hey, I'm buying this ticket. Just give it to a veteran. I will make sure it gets to a veteran if you want to support us that way. My Veteran Nation Foundation, we are involved. We were involved in the planning. I am not getting any of the money of it. It's going to another veterans charity called You Matter Not Alone. where they work for suicide awareness. So it's a very good cause. We're going to try to turn that 22 veterans every single day who take their own lives. We're going to try to turn that into zero. And you can support us by hitting the like and subscribe right now, because I see we got quite a bit of people here. Most of them are on YouTube, but yeah, please like and subscribe. But if you go in the description of the video, you can buy a ticket for a veteran or a first responder. We will make sure that it gets to them. And if you can come, we would love to have you come. It'll be a fun time. I'm trying to get Tommy there. If you watched my Price is Right video, you saw Tommy. He's been on the channel several times. He lives in LA. So for him, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go down the way. I did ask him while we were hanging out last week, because they have the Los Angeles Metro that they put in. It's not a real subway. It's just a train. But they put it in, and I was like, you ever take that? And he's like, no, I don't want to get stabbed. And ever since then, on Twitter, he's been tagging me in every instance of people getting stabbed on the Los Angeles Metro. So, yeah, it's not exactly, yep, Tommy Karate. Yep, it's not exactly the best thing. You know, if you're going to go on the Los Angeles Metro, make sure you're armed. It is legal in California, completely legal, if you're not a felon, to open carry a knife of any size, but it has to be openly displayed. So make sure you're carrying the right way. Fun with the soundboard. So yeah, I am gonna make a call to the FBI about Jeremy Hale's case. The Levy County Sheriff's Department, I believe they need to be investigated for discrimination, violation of the 14th Amendment. Hocus pocus is Latin for by my power and authority, made famous by people mocking statist Roman Catholic priests who people had to get everything permitted by them. I did not know that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I actually went to OCS with a guy who spoke Latin. Not me, though. I used to live in Intercourse, PA, oddly not far from Paradise, PA. Well, yeah, that's kind of a given. Shouldn't they merge and call it Intercourse is Paradise? You guys got some weird names. You got that. You got King of Prussia. Yeah, so I am going to be making that call. If you all think I should be doing something else, if we want to do a petition or a form letter, a ninja katana. You actually can. Okay, sorry I missed your comment, but you actually can walk around with a ninja katana here in California as long as it's openly displayed. So if you get a thing on your back, you can walk around with one by the dashboard light. Real towns, yeah. Out here in California, we have a road. It's XXYZZ. I think is how you pronounce that. But it's just a road. It's not a town. But it's actually only like an hour and a half from me. Not far at all. But maybe. Ooh. Should we get? Maybe we get ninja katanas. Okay, hear me out here. We get ninja katanas and we start walking around with them. But here's the thing: we brand them. One side, Veteran Nation, the other side, a Veterans Affair, and then we can sell to other Californians. Okay, it's on the stream, so you all can't steal my idea. It's already been recorded. For us, Canucks get no guns. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You guys got so many freaking bears up there. You should have guns. Bears will eat you. Don't they know that? Got the Kodiaks up there. Just be careful doing that in Florida. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can't carry a sword in Florida, but you can in California. And if you're going to carry your gun openly in Florida, have your fishing pole. Armed fisherman he's taught us the way. You're going from fishing, hunting, or camping. So have a tent, have have your hunting gear on, or have a fishing pole. Fishing pole is just easier because they're pretty light, and you can strap those to your back as well, so then they're visible. Ugh, I need to get something to drink. Energy drink. Need to get me a Red Bull. But yeah, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. We'll be calling the FBI. If you think I should do anything else, let me know. Completely ridiculous what Jeremy's dealing with. Make sure you check all these guys where we put all their links to their shows. Make sure you check them out. Kahanu, Justin Schatz, Eric. I'm trying to think who else. Uh, didn't we put DKs in there? I need a blue cow. Hunting, yes, but not Carrie. I miss fishing. Um, yeah, I miss fishing too. There's not a lot of fishing out near me. I live in the desert, not or a green cat. Or red calf. Why am I going to call the FBI? Because the Levy County Sheriff is showing a very distinct bias against Jeremy and George, and that is a violation of the 14th Amendment. And when it's done by a law enforcement agency, it falls under the FBI's purview to investigate. So uh, I don't think it will have to get to a full investigation. I think if the FBI just starts making some inquiries, I think we'll start seeing things change very quickly. Um, there actually used to be a place called the Purple Cow. Well, I know down in Oceanside there's a Purple Church. I forget the name, but it's a strip club and it's painted all purple. Joke that the Marines were going to the church. No, I didn't need you to post anyone. We already got everything posted. I'm just telling people, make sure you go and look at the links and follow the people who we posted. So Justin Schatz, he is in Michigan. He's in right outside of Battle Creek, Michigan, and check out his channel. Like I said, he had his neighbor attack him, and then the one wore Batman mask to mock Justin. He had a civil protection order, did everything, went through the courts and everything, and was being harassed by his local police department. And so far, the police chief has already dropped his retirement papers, but we still need a lot more changes there. And so if you're so inclined to support Justin's bid for office, he's running for Michigan State Legislature, and I know he'll be great in that role. Something needs to be done. Lynette Preston should be arrested for filing false 911. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Don't trust our cops here in Florida. Yeah, a lot of places have some bad cops, but we need to make sure they're all wearing body cameras, and that's how we root out a lot of the bad ones. But we also have to hold our officials accountable to make sure that they're not allowing them to mute the cameras, turn off the cameras, any of that BS. No, take care of that in redacting open records request. It should, if they're turning that stuff off, that should be considered tampering with evidence, in my opinion. But I'm going to go ahead and get off there because I got to get some dinner. And I thank you all for joining. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Go to veterannationfoundation.com, buy a T-shirt if you're so inclined, or in the description you see the link to our comedy event. Buy a ticket for a first responder, veteran, or military member. Oh yeah, they will turn those off. So it should be illegal for them to turn them off. So take care, Tony Grumblin. Yeah, so is mine. You all have a great night, and keep supporting each other. That's one thing I love that you guys are doing. We're all supporting each other here. Hashtag support squad. If there's something that you want me to take a look at, make sure you at me. You can DM me on Twitter and Instagram. My DMs are open there. Facebook, I'll eventually get it. I just got put into Facebook jail again for another BS thing. If you're not in Facebook jail, you're not doing Facebook right. But yeah, you all have a great day. And as always, thank you all for being